going on YouTube? So I'm here with a quick post fight for the Bivol versus Beterbiev, Beterbiev, however you want to say it. You know, we seen the fight last night, man. Great fight, you know. Great fight, man. I can't complain at all, you know. I wish Bivol got the win. You know, I actually scored him winning the fight. But man, so let's talk about it, man. I've been hearing a lot of people say how Beterbiev won the fight or whatever, and you know, I'm not mad at people for thinking that he won the fight, you know, because I'm gonna tell you why. I scored the fight for Bivol. I had Bivol winning 8 rounds to 4. But it was some swing rounds in there. It was like 2 swing rounds in there. So I could see it being a draw for Beterbiev. You know, that's at best for me, you know, how I would see it, you know. But, you know, if I could see a fight a draw with 2 or 3 swing rounds in there, I can't be mad at people talking about Beterbiev won. Because obviously their criteria for, you know, judging a fight is different than mine. I like boxers. You know what I mean? I like people that display skills as to seeing somebody just go in there and throw punches. I say all that to say, like, if you really break that fight down, Bivol was the better skilled fighter, and that was clear. So Bivol won the boxing match, Beterbiev won the fight. You know what I mean? So if you just looking at it like that, man, you talking about a sport that's a boxing. When you look at boxing as a sport, and you think about what was displayed from a boxer, I saw that from Bivol. Now, if that same fight was on the street, you would be like, man, Beterbiev probably won because he did the most damage. But when you score the fight round by round, I scored it for Bivol, man. It was a close fight. So, like I say, man, I'm not going to be mad at anybody that think Beterbiev won. Let me tell you why I thought Bivol won the fight, though. Because I felt Bivol displayed better skills. You actually saw strategy. Bivol did a great job at, you know, executing his game plan. It was time he fought in spurts, and he picked his spots. He picked his spots when he wanted to sit down and fight. He picked his spots where he wanted to hold his ground. You know what I mean? And he fought Beterbiev at times. And then there was times where he showed ring generalship. You know what I mean? So it was so many layers to Bivol's game in that fight that he displayed. For it to be that close, I felt like you should have gave it to Bivol, because Beterbiev didn't do nothing but just come forward the whole fight and just throw punches. A lot of people look at the punch stats, so let's talk about the punch stats. Punch stats was very close. Bivol landed 3 more punches than Beterbiev. So you think about that, but Beterbiev threw like 100 and something more punches than Bivol. So Bivol was more accurate, and he landed the more punches. Now, on the flip side of that, I look at that as in defense. Defense is a judge criteria on scoring a fight. So yeah, you can effective aggression is also another judge criteria. But Bivol was in there displaying defense. He was giving angles. You know what I mean? He was pivoting, and he was slipping punches. So I credit a lot of them missed punches that Beterbiev was throwing to Bivol's defense. So when you put it all together, and then not only that, Beterbiev's was 20 wins, no losses, all wins by way of knockout. Bivol actually had to think his way through that fight and get through that fight. I'm not giving him credit for making it to the end of the fight, and that's why I'm saying he won. No, I'm not saying that. But if you look at Beterbiev, that dude punched too hard, bro. Like, he punched too hard. As soon as he land on you, you can see that shit through your whole body, through the fighter's whole body. He's a strong puncher. Probably one of the strongest punchers that I ever seen. Just like, when we not even talking about loading up and really, like, you know what I mean, putting your all in it. This dude just throwing regular shots. Every single one of his punches is thudding. So Bivol had to strategically work his way out of that, man, and he did it. He did it, man, and I love the fact that Bivol, when I was talking about strategy, Bivol displayed strategy because he did a great job, to me, at letting Beterbiev win the rounds that he started off fast in. So, like, in the first minute of the round, if he saw that Beterbiev had a strong first minute and a half of the round, Bivol would kind of coast in them rounds and let Beterbiev get off, because he looked at that fight round by round. That's how I felt like he fought. And I felt like he did enough to win, man. But like I said, man, great fight. I'm not mad at, I am kind of mad at the outcome, because I just felt like Bivol did a great display of boxing in that fight, man. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was so close that I can't be mad at it. Put it like that. It was so close, man, that it is what it is. But I will say, what really kind of is making me be like, it is what it is, that Beterbiev won the fight, and I'm not really gonna make a huge fuss about it or nothing, was the fact that Beterbiev won the championship rounds clearly. He won rounds 11 and 12 clearly. And I'm going to keep it all the way G. Going into 11 and 12, even though I had Bivol up in the fight at that time, I knew that the fight was close. I knew it was competitive. So I was like, man, Bivol needed to win at least one out of the two championship rounds. And he didn't win neither one of them, in my opinion. So I give Bivol all credit. I mean, Beterbiev all credit, because he closed out that fight like a champion. He was the unified champion, you know. So I can't really be mad at the win, them giving him the win, man. But if I'm being honest, I had Bivol winning 8 rounds to 4 with a lot of swing rounds in the fight. I feel like the rounds that each fighter won was very clear. This fight reminded me a lot of the Errol Spence versus Sean Porter fight. If you look at that fight in totality, it was a very close, competitive round. But I had Errol Spence winning 8 rounds in that fight, because even though all rounds was competitive, he edged out 8 of them barely. But the rounds that Sean Porter won in the fight, he won them in dominant fashion. So if you look at the rounds that Errol Spence won, they was all clear, even though it was 8 of them. Sean Porter competed very well. And then he dominated 4 of them. So you look at the whole fight and it's like, whatever. So I saw that fight the same way, man. I felt like Beterbiev won the rounds that he won very clear. And I feel like that was due to Bivol's strategy. So, and then even the rounds that Bivol won, I felt like he edged them very close, because all the rounds were so competitive. But that's how I see it, man. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.